Oh yeah, shit just got real.
Who with it now? Who with it now?
So what is up, YouTube? How's it going today? As you can see, I am not on my R1 today. I am on a BMW S1000RR. Silly name, I know. It's as if BMW said, we need more letters in that. Because they're German, you know. And so they just threw in an extra R at the end just because it's not really necessary. But one of my friends let me borrow his brand new, well, not brand new for him, BMW. I kind of said jokingly, I'm going on a group ride right now, and he couldn't make it. And I jokingly said, but it's okay, I'll take the BMW out for you. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And willingly handed over the keys to me. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do anything reckless to his bike, or at least not very reckless. So yeah, he let me borrow his Beamer, and I've had a little bit of a chance to ride it around. I rode it around last night. She's got some kick. Yeah, I had a chance to ride her around last night for a bit, and kind of told him I'd clean her up and gas her up and everything, and take her on the group ride today. And that's exactly what I did. I gave her a little wash down last night. I filled her up with some gas, which I'll top her off before I give it back. So I really appreciate it, and it's a pretty sweet bike, I must say. It's definitely different than my R1, that's without a doubt. But it just takes a little bit of adjusting to. Power-wise, while this one has said that it's going to have more power than pretty much anything out there right now. I don't know, man. It's marginal, really. Yes, this bike does have a lot of power. And what I do notice about this bike that I do like, in comparison to my R1, is with this bike, the low-end RPMs are so much smoother. The R1s, because of the crossplane engine, they're a lot more jerky. They just feel like they have a lot more grunt behind them, and as a result, sometimes you get like a twitchy type of feeling. With the BMW, open road, she's got some power to her, that's for sure. So yeah, in comparison to the R1, the low-end RPMs on this bike are a lot smoother. They don't feel as jerky. The R1 almost begs to be in the higher RPMs. It almost begs for you to really just rip the throttle. Whereas this one, I mean, if you're, this is geared to be a track bike. That's what this bike was meant for. But if you were to buy it and say want to use it as a commuter bike, you know, or getting around day to day, while it's an expensive commuter bike, I think I'd have this over the BMW. I'm sorry, over the R1. As far as commuter wise goes. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my R1. every bike you have is going to have its pros and cons. I mean, they all have their little quirks about them, and you know, the R1 is no different. This one, for some reason, doesn't feel as aggressive on the pickup as the R1. The R1, you give it throttle and it just feels like so intense with power. Now this one has a ton of power, but it just doesn't seem to, I don't know, it just doesn't have that same aggressive feeling as the R1. Ugh, bump. Balls. But yeah, this bike is really nice. The seat is much more narrow than my R1. The bike in general is much more narrow than my R1, which makes it a little easier to kind of you know, swerve in and out of traffic. And I haven't really taken it on some turns yet because I only just picked her up last night, so I haven't really been able to hit any hardcore turns. Not that there's a lot of them in Miami to begin with, but so I don't know how she handles in the twisties. But on a straight line, I mean, if you punch it, it goes. I mean, it's definitely quick. Yeah, this bike could get me into some trouble. It is certainly a lot of fun. And like I said, as far as commuting, which is actually what I do. I mean, I ride my bike every day. I commute on my bike. I sold my car a while back, so I only have my motorcycle. So as far as commuting goes, this one seems a little more comfortable. Seat-wise, it's a little more comfortable. Just that low-end RPM, if you're constantly in traffic and you're stop, go, that smoothness on the low RPMs makes a hell of a difference after a while. But then again, I've also ridden Hondas, I've ridden Gixxers, I've ridden Kawasaki, and they're all typically a lot smoother in the low range RPMs in comparison to the R1. The R1 is just a growling monster. It's like an untamed animal. And that's right, quick shift. Do that one more time. No hands. That quick shift is pretty awesome. That's one thing I don't have on my bike that I'm going to have to really look into to buying that upgrade a little bit later, because that is an awesome feature. I've never actually had an opportunity to play around with a quick shifter until now. I'm so used to still doing it though. So watch, no hands, third gear, no hands, fourth gear. It's pretty awesome actually. There's some guy on a ZX-10 sitting there. No! No! That actually scared the shit out of me. Look twice for motorcycles, ride responsibly. I like it. No! You're gonna get me into a lot of trouble. Alright, so another point that I'll give to the BMW is the brakes on this bike are ridiculous. I'm pretty certain that these brakes are the same brakes that they put on the space shuttle to stop it once it, you know, comes back down from space and has to land at Kennedy Space Center. I'm pretty sure this is the brakes that it uses because they are ridiculous.
What the fuck did you... Where'd you get this?
I'll tell you in a minute. met up. We're gonna do a little group ride here. Not too big. We usually have a lot more bikes, but today we're keeping it simple. What's up, sunshine? Headphones. Shall we play a game of Kill Switch Wars? Methinks so. Oh, I love playing Kill Switch Wars with her. So the owner was telling me a couple things about this bike that there were safety features, I guess, that I found to be pretty interesting. One is that the bike has a sort of a level or a gyroscope that if you try and wheelie the bike, it'll get off maybe a couple of inches off the ground, but then the bike recognizes that it's no longer level and it puts the bike back down. So there's a way to apparently to go into the computer and disable that function, but it's just crazy that it has that to begin with. It's very, BMW is very safety conscious. The second one, so there's a couple of modes. There's race mode, there's sport mode. These guys riding the wheelies hard today. There's race mode, there's sport mode, there's rain mode, and when you put it in race mode, it's still giving a lot of power to this bike. It's crazy. It really is fast. But there's a hidden mode, I guess you can call it. It's the track mode. And track mode has a switch or a button or whatever it is underneath the seat. So you actually have to take off the seat in order to get to that track mode. Now the problem is, if you, let's say you put it in track mode and leave it there all the time, if you get into an accident and you're on the street and the bike is in track mode, the computer recognizes the fact that the bike is in track mode and it records that information, it saves it. So when the insurance goes to do their investigation, they'll check that, and if you have it on track mode on the street and you get into an accident, they will not cover you at all. Other than that, this bike is sweet. So yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful machine, and I'm loving every second of riding on it. Is it worth the price tag? Debatable. But what I will tell you is, if you did spend the money on it, you would not be sorry. You would, without a doubt, enjoy this bike.